My September is stacked. I'm going to be binging one fantasy titan.
And I have a cheese board of historical retelling, some Arthurian legend, even some grimdark assassins, and of course, some epic fantasy.
It's the Brothers Gwynne. You can count on cheese being mentioned. Readers,
reviewers,
countrymen,
lend us your ears. And a huge thank you to all of our Patreons.
Thank you to the Pit Fighters, the First Swords, and all of the Bright Stars. Truth and courage.
Hello and welcome to the channel today. I'm Will, this is my brother Ed, and today we're talking about what we intend to read in the month of September. This is a month I'm raring to go. I'm back into a reading frenzy. I can feel it. The end of August, reading a lot, and there is some great stuff to come in September. Maybe it's the impending doom of returning to uni in October, so I'm like, I need to cram as much as I can in September
before the plunge.
I'll also be on holiday for about a week where I'm just going to be, relaxing, reading a lot. So let's get into coffee.
Nice. You're a member of the Doubles.
I keep thinking Cyprus. I don't know why.
Yeah, they're
very different places. Very different places. But anyway, I've got a lot, different genres, very excited to dive into them. And Ed, you've got a lot of one specific author who he has, for some mad reason, decided to binge, but it could reap great rewards.
So, I am going to be doing this thing where every few months or so, I am going to be binging one author, and I'm going to try and binge as much of their works as I can. Now, if they have one for series that's really, really famous, I'll focus on that and then read a couple of other of their books. But without further ado, the person I'm going to be binging is, of course, George R.R. Martin. I'm going to be starting with A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Nice. We'll talk about what I'm going to read after that, but yeah, we'll be starting with the Tales of Dunk and Egg. And watch out for some videos from me focusing on how their writing may change over time, and what I noticed about their style of storytelling as well. And I'll do a ranking at the end of each month. So it'll be very, very fun, but I'm really looking forward to doing it. I've wanted to binge these books back to back for years now. I've kind of read them very slowly, but I just want to be fully immersed in the world of A Song of Ice and Fire.
Very nice. And so you're reading that. I wonder what you might mention in a minute. George R. R. Martin. First up, I've got City of the Plain by Cormac McCarthy, the third of this trilogy. And so it starts with All the Pretty Horses. Book 2 is The Crossing, and this is the finale. Our characters collide, and I think it's probably guaranteed that there's going to be some philosophical suffering and some pain. Yeah, I think that's usually a guarantee.
Book, so pain, lots of pain.
But what's really struck me of this series is, whilst it's pretty bleak and gritty at times, there is the sentimentality in this sense of hope. Whereas in The Road, there isn't really much sentimentality, but there's still hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the hope feels naive in this, where it feels like you should not have hope, and they're just sentimental. So it's kind of reversed it, which is quite interesting. Hadn't heard people say that, and so it's took me by surprise. I wouldn't say I coined it. Maybe it's just not worth noting, and I'm making too big of a deal out of it. But Cities of the Plain, really looking forward to this finale. It is your least favourite of the three, isn't it, Ed? But you still enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it. Yes, I did enjoy it.
And you loved The Crossing.
I will say no more. Yeah.
Do you think it's because you love The Crossing so much?
I just think it's not as good, mate.
Fair enough. Well, that's Cities of the Plain. More Cormac McCarthy, probably focusing a dissertation on his writing. So I need to finish this trilogy.
It's quite a departure to the style of the previous two.
Okay.
And I think I got a lot out of All the Pretty Horses, and I got so much out of The Crossing. And then because of the vast departure in style of storytelling, it kind of left me a bit flummoxed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if I'm flummoxed.
Let's see. Of course, I shall then be binging the entirety of A Song of Ice
I was wondering
and
if
Fire.
you were going to go, I'm going to read a Game of Thrones, put it down.
No, I won't do that. It's just silly, isn't it? But yeah, so I will be binging all of these books back to back, seeing how far I get through. I doubt I'm going to finish all of them during September, but I like to set myself unachievable goals.
Have you read A Feast for Crows before?
Will said to me the other day, the worst part of a dream is achieving it. So
I actually did.
I completely agree. So my dream is to read all of these
very
books
different context
in September. Yeah. So I'm very excited just to be immersed, as I said, in the world of A Song of Ice and Fire. I have read the first 4. But I did some of them physically, some of them audio, and I just didn't connect with them as much as I wanted to, or as much as I kind of knew that I would.
Yeah.
I know that there's potential for me to absolutely fall in love with the series, and I really do want to kind of really not quite study, but do a deep dive into George R. R. Martin's storytelling. So, yeah, these are what I'm going to be reading. I've planned it since the beginning of the year, so I'm excited.
And I'm interested to see how your ranking changed, because The Clash of Kings was your favourite.
That is the best A Song of Ice and Fire book, in my opinion.
Then A Storm of Swords.
I think then A Game of Thrones for me.
Then A Game of Thrones,
then A Storm of Swords.
And then Feast for Crows.
Yeah.
Big drop, or...?
For me at the time it was, but hopefully it's different as I read them back to back. But
and then maybe you'll have a book 6 to read soon.
Maybe.
Not likely.
Doubt it.
Next up, I've got The Winter King by Bernard Cornwell. This is part of a reread. Well, it's me beginning the reread. Tutor Ramble, talking about The Winter King, it just made me think, I must read this again. It is infectious. I love this series so much. It is historical, but there are fantastical elements. You could reason them away with the culture of the time, but really, I'd say it's historical fantasy. So the fantasy readers should pick this up, and the historical readers can love it and reason away the fantasy as they will.
You were butchered in the comments from the last Arthurian video, weren't you?
Was I?
People were very angry that you were calling Arthur historical fiction.
Well, there are made-up characters, and there is a possibility that Arthur was real. But in any historical fiction, there's made-up characters. That doesn't mean it's fantasy.
Well,
that's where the fiction part comes in.
Video disagree.
But historical fiction means making stuff up, but stuff that can happen in the real world.
Yeah.
So it's historical fiction. I stand my ground. There's an argument for both, but you can't say it's not.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let's do another one.
You know what?
Let's
just be open. Let's just be open. Okay. Next up, I've got Assassin's Quest. I'm going to get ripped apart again because now it's going to be like, oh, he hasn't read the Live Ship Traders. I will soon, and that's why I'm reading Assassin's Quest, rereading it, listening to it.
I think that's really cruel that I've not got many times or videos or opportunities that I can say, have you read Live Ships yet? And you just took that away from me.
I'm really sorry.
First.
Actually, Ed, I think if you look at our catalogue, you've said it probably 70, 80 times, and you often say it off camera as well. The camera doesn't need to be there for him to say it. Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb, book 3 of the Farseid trilogy. First time round, I was disappointed, but still enjoyed it.
Second time round, you'd be even more disappointed.
I think maybe I'll enjoy it more because my expectations aren't what they were the first time. And I'm going to be looking for things that really come to fruition in later books.
Yeah.
Because, I'm a fan like that. I'm going to look for Easter eggs, see how it began. And, stuff like that.
It's a shame because you won't realise the stuff that happens in the Live Ship Traders, the stuff that's set up in Assassin's Quest because you haven't read it yet. But that's fine.
Please talk about your next book.
I will also then
Was it George R. R. Martin?
Hoping to read George R. R. Martin and Lisa Tuttle's Windhaven, which is kind of a sci-fi epic, which is the story of this place called Windhaven, where there are these prestigious beings that are the silver-winged flyers, and a young girl is dreaming of becoming one of the flyers, and she goes through trials, and then some other big things happen. And of course, that is the premise. Nice. And I am very excited to read that as well. I've heard amazing things about this. And obviously, when people talk about GRRM, they talk about A Song of Ice and Fire. Rightly so. It is a series that has captured the entire planet.
It's true.
And I am very intrigued to see what his other works were like, because they're still held to high critical acclaim. So yeah, I'm very excited. And see how, what it's like to actually see how he is writing with someone else, with kind of a buddy writer in Lisa Tuttle. So yeah, that's exciting.
Very nice.
Very excited. I can't wait.
Are you excited?
I am very excited.
Very nice. Next up, I have got Daughter of the Otherworld, an upcoming release. We're very lucky to have early access. Thank you to Head of Zeus and Shauna Lawless. We love the Ghoul Song trilogy. We love her spin-off novellas, and I'm sure I'm going to love this. History meets fantasy meets mythology. Can it get much better? This is late 11th century. Whereas the first series is late 10th century. You see, there's a bit of a time jump here. That's why it's a different series, but they're attached to each other. Sean Lawless is a fantastic writer. This is a bit shorter than the others, I've noticed.
I don't know. It's pushing 1 foot.
Don't say it, Ed. Don't do your joke. I don't enjoy it. I've had it way too many times. But yeah, Daughter of the Otherworld, I'm really looking forward to it. Shauna Lawless, I think, over time has really honed her craft. Her writing has become more lyrical. And I think also, I've always loved her characterisation, but I think there's a confidence that's grown as well. Gormla was incredible in book 1, but these characters have really grown with her other works. Her latest novella, which is Dreams of Chaos, which features a major character I won't talk about because... Spoiler!
What a novella.
Fantastic. And the characterisation, personality really drips from every word. And I find it's harder to really explore a character who's a bit more withdrawn and show their personality through the page rather than someone very charismatic. There's a bit more to go off, isn't there? Especially when you're in their head. Whereas you really just understand his loathing, his sorrow, and why he is so withdrawn and weighed by the past. I think it was just brilliant. And the dramatic irony was just stunning. So yeah, really a writer of her craft, and not just a great story, but great prose as well. Weaving it like a magician.
Please do another one.
I have also got some self-published fantasy. I'm trying to do at least one a month. And so I've read Unbound in August, and in September I've got A Drowned Kingdom. So I'm going to dive head first, and let's hope I don't drown in how much I love this. I think this is morally grey character, political intrigue, and dark, gritty tone.
Yep.
Is there any humour?
There is subtle humour.
Okay.
I definitely think P.L. Stewart is kind of... his prose is very much inspired by Janny Wirtz and Christian Cameron. So kind of the world building is there, the histories are there, the deep sense of character with the main POV is there, and he's a very unique perspective. I'll say that.
And what's been lovely, well, one of the many fantastic things of... We've been in the books community for quite a while now, Ed. We've had this channel.
Are we seasoned veterans?
We have. We've had this channel for 4.5 years. Ooh. We've been. I was reviewing for a blog 7 years ago now for Book Nest, and over that time we've really seen the increased role of self-published fantasy. It was very prevalent then, but we've really seen how series kind of influence kind of the tropes of the time, how they're then picked up, and so I think it's really good to explore these works, and there is such skill and depth to be found here, and such creativity as well, that sometimes publishers get a bit scared, by something very different, and that's where self-published fantasy, what it can achieve. So really looking forward to reading A Drowned Kingdom by P.L. Stewart, and hopefully do a chat with him when I've read it, because you're a bit ahead of me of that, Ed, though. Yeah, just a little. So hopefully this is book one, another series to get addicted to.
Absolutely.
Who needs to carry on with series they've already started when you can start new ones?
Not me. And the last one, obviously, because I'll read all of those, is I'm aiming to read Fever Dream as well by George R.R. Martin. What a surprise. I'm sure you didn't know who that was by. And of course it is the year of the vampire, and this is George R. Martin's vampire novel. I believe it's set in the 19th century. Fever Dream is a large steamboat that was built in the Mississippi, and it's the story of the man who built it and the man who kind of paid for it. How there's a deep difference between the two, and it quickly becomes a rivalry, and then some spooky things start going down. So I'm excited to read Fever Dream by George R. Martin, and just see how his writing has elevated from Fever Dream all the way to the final book of A Song of Ice and Fire.
Has that elevated?
Dance with Dragons. We shall find out.
And then I have got Lionheart by Dan Jones, who actually has a tie with George R. R. Martin. George R. R. Martin inspired him to write some fiction, because he is a veteran of the non-fiction genre, and he needs to just be the biggest historian out there. He's utterly incredible. He is just a brilliant man in all ways. He's funny, he's charismatic.
He is tall.
He is tall.
He is tall. He's taller than I thought he'd be.
He is quite tall.
But he's not quite as tall as Dan Snow.
Ed, we looked like children next to him.
Yeah.
We did. We were hugging his armpits. But anyway, Dan Jones, he is a giant of the genre. And
you can't be hugging men's armpits,
you can't. But anyway, Lionheart's the third of his historical fiction trilogy, and this wraps it up. It's the 100 Years' War. We've got the Essex Dogs, who are a group of mercenaries who are tied together by bonds of friendship, set by a lot of terrible things going around them.
Yeah.
And that's what really allows this series to thrive, I think, showing the depravity of humanity and the reality of medieval warfare through kind of the sludging walks. And
sludging is accurate.
It is walks between city to city, the plagues, the thievery, and the banditry, and just the lack of morality. And then against that, you do have the hope and the friendship of the Essex Dogs. That means that you're not too bogged down by the grittiness and the darkness of the rest of the story. And Lionhearts, you have so far said it's your favourite of the trilogy.
Can I be honest? This is the best of the bunch.
You know what, Ed? You can be honest.
Thank you.
And so, I'm really looking forward to reading Lionhearts. And what a lovely addition by The Broken Binding. I think I say that at least once a month. But yeah, I'm saying it again. Here it is, Lionhearts. Fantastic cover, and hopefully fantastic content hidden within.
And Will, please give us your final read.
My final read is Boudica's Daughter.
Sorry.
Is Boudica's Daughter by Elodie Harper. I cannot believe my copy hasn't arrived yet. I need to check where I ordered it from, because I've actually forgotten. I just kind of clicked the link.
You will send an email.
Because I got very excited.
Disgust.
But Boudica's daughter. This is obviously looking at Boudica from the eyes of her daughter, or so you think from the name of the title. But this is a standalone. Really looking forward to it. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate historical fiction when you've already read something of that period. We've read the Boudica series by Amanda Scott, utterly sensational. But this feels very different in the approach. It's a standalone, different central figure, and so I think I can forgive it and I'll really enjoy it. So some great reviews, and Elodie Harper is another lyrical author who I completely trust with characters. I'm a character-driven reader, and that is why, at the moment, I'll pick up anything she writes. The Wolf Den trilogy is up there with the greatest books I've ever read, and a series that I will shout from the mountaintops for years and years to come. So Boudica's daughter, really looking forward to picking it up and reading in September. It's definitely one of my priorities.
So September is a very big month for us, and it'll be big for the channel as well, I'm sure.
Hopefully.
We are very, very excited to be producing lots of great videos about all of these amazing books. So let us know in the comments below, what do you think of these books? Has anyone read any of these books? Has anyone binged George R. R. Martin before? And if you want to, come and join me over on our Discord. There is a link below. I'd love to have some company on the ride.
But everyone, thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you're reading in September, and hopefully we see you again soon. Truth and courage.
Truth and courage.
The Brothers Gwynne.
The Brothers Gwynne.